The framing.
I keep looking at the MacBook. That's where you are. So that's like I'm talking to you down here.
Just don't look at me. Just shift me wherever I need to be. I'm just the talking head at this point. Well, we'll see how we go, won't we? So welcome to the show, guys.
Yay!
Hello.
Oh, how are we all this morning? I've already asked you this 2 minutes ago, but we'll redo
we're
it.
fine. We're all good. We're both very tired. It's been a very long December, and we're both looking forward to a small break over Christmas.
I can't wait. I've got like 3 more hours of work this afternoon, and then I'm done for like 4 days. So I can't. I'm excited.
Yeah, and I finished on Wednesday, but so what?
I say we're actually doing this before New Year for a change.
We are doing it before New Year. Yeah, usually we're not. It's usually New Year's Day, isn't it?
See, the New Year's Day, it's like
Boxing
New
Day.
Year's Eve or Boxing Day, or usually whenever I had to drive you back to yours.
Yes, usually most of the time.
I'm sure it was before New Year's this year. I think it was for New Year's Eve, if not
I think
the
it was
day
probably
before.
Boxing Day or New Year's Eve. I think it was New Year's Eve we did it last year.
Yeah, because I was meant to go out with you New Year's Eve and I didn't because I had a headache, and then abandoned.
Yeah, it's like a massive migraine or something, didn't you?
Yeah, it was like one of those like struck down and then no energy. I was like, yeah, I don't really want to be stood in like a pub at midnight with this.
Yeah,
So
probably COVID.
Yeah, full on abandoned.
Get it, so.
Nah, it's all good. I mean, I've got a banging headache at the minute. I've been having it. This is my 3rd day of a headache. It's doing my head in. Cannot shift it.
Codeine, man.
No, codeine's no good for headaches.
Is it not?
Great for headaches.
No, you're not supposed to take it for
headaches. For headaches and migraines.
You're not supposed to take it for that.
Codeine is just great for everything.
Who knows?
Codeine's a controlled substance in the US.
It's controlled substance here.
I'm going to say that whenever you ask for cocodamol at Boots, they're like, "What's it for? Have you had it before? Are you going to take it for more than 3 days?" And you're like, no, my tooth just hurts.
Yeah, it's what's this for? Opioids, isn't it? So
yeah, true.
Yeah, it's technically addictive, but yeah.
Well, I mean, America has a wonderful opioid crisis.
I was going to say, I'm surprised they're not just giving it away.
They do for everything.
You could probably just go get fentanyl and it'd be fine.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, you got to sneeze. Yeah, some codeine.
Yeah, some codeine. Some opioids. We're going to start off with the usual question, which is slightly wider this week. Of who are you people? Well,
I've been on the podcast 4 times, so
yeah. But if no one's seen the other episodes, they might not know who you are. So
they're missing out on some great content. That's what they're missing out on.
It might change year to year. You might, 1 year you might be like, I'm not this anymore.
Yeah, well, no. So either way, I'm your brother, and if people couldn't tell that by the fact that our voices sound very similar and we look a little bit similar, then yeah, I'm your brother. So I've been on the podcast several times, and I'm here again for our annual podcast.
Who are you?
I'm Amy. I'm Martin's girlfriend. This is my first time on the podcast, so
it's exciting time.
I'm so excited to see what happens.
Yeah,
keep chatting.
And you guys met for the first time a month and a half ago?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
recently.
Yeah, because we started dating after you moved to America, so
took us a while.
Yes.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're not popping back and forth, and we don't do this very often. So once a year is as much as we talk.
It's annual.
Yeah.
We
don't talk outside of this podcast.
Just a few texts every now and again.
Just some live updates, and then that's it. And we just don't talk.
Yeah.
That's the kind of family we are.
Yeah,
that's what my family's like. I hardly ever talk to my family, and then like every 3 months, my mum will text me if I've not spoken to her. Like, "You okay?" And I go, "Yeah, I'm okay. Are you okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm good." I'm like, "Oh, good. There we go.
Good.
Caught up. Done.
Congratulations, you're alive."
Give you the old proof of life, and then move on. I mean, I asked who you are in the sense of as well, like what you do. I know we mentioned that you're like tired for the end of the year because you both have jobs, but what do you describe as what do you guys do?
I don't know, like I think I describe myself different every year. Like
that's why I always ask as well.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm in marketing and I'm in design and creative services and content creation for the hospitality industry. I've been doing that for 5-6 years, so that's pretty much what I do. But I think I just describe it different every single year. So yeah.
No, mine's not as exciting. I run a restaurant. I've been a hospitality sort of restaurant, cafe, etc. manager for like 8 years. So I just kind of bounce around different things. I do tapas at the moment.
Tapas.
Tapas?
Tapas.
No.
I mean, yeah, you downplay it, but you are the general manager of like
True.
the busiest restaurant in the city centre of Nottingham.
Yeah, it just doesn't sound as fun as your job.
You know, it's in the Michelin star guide as well.
True.
It doesn't have a Michelin star, but it's in the guide. You know, it's doing pretty well.
It's all right. We're one of 3 in Nottingham, and one of the other ones is one of our other restaurants. So
yeah,
I feel like we're not doing too badly.
No,
not like a small deal.
No.
Okay. I don't like talking myself up. I'm sorry, I do this. I turn up, I talk to people.
You both have introduced yourself. Neither of you have mentioned that you started doing YouTube.
Oh no, well
you're not describing yourself as vloggers yet. I know, but I figured that's how you'd introduce yourself. Is like, oh, and we do this, and it's like, nope, you just ignore
that was going to pull onto the topic of like recently we've both started doing YouTube a little bit. We went on holiday a month and a half ago to New York, which was to visit you, and we were with all our friends and stuff, and we decided to vlog the trip. And because we watched a lot of travel vlog stuff, and we watch a lot of vloggers.
Yeah, no, we do. That is what we do.
And like it's part of our interest, and we thought, hey,
we can do this.
We could do this. This would be fun, wouldn't it? Like this is something to do. And it's more of a creative outlet than it is like
a goal sort
of a goal or a push for anything. It's just kind of like, hey, here's something creative we can do in our spare time.
Yeah.
And hey, if some people like it, brilliant. If they don't, they don't.
But
yeah, it's a good approach to most things.
Yeah. I mean, like, you can slap the YouTube name on the screen here if you want. Like, just
that involves a level of editing, which you just doesn't happen with this podcast.
No, you just turn it black and white and upload it.
Turn it black and white, I chop off the front and the back, and then I drop it in.
Yeah, there's a link in the description.
Yeah.
There's no edit in there.
Well, link in the description. There you go.
You get a link in the description. I usually drop the links in the description, so we'll drop you a link in the description.
Well, we called it Alternative Adventures because we're both emo kids. And we're going on adventures. And it's not like a travel vlog in the sense of like, this is the ultimate guide to X place. It's more of a case of just, hey, just follow us along as we do some stuff.
I think it's more of like a video diary, I would class it, than anything else.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Like, definitely not, like you said, really sort of overproduced, like, do this, and this is all the most exciting thing we've ever done, and here's my TV presenter voice, and it's just, here what we're doing, we're going to film it.
Yeah, like we just put up a video, 2 days ago? 1 day ago? Which was just like what we learned from doing our first vlog. And we kind of just went through what we learned. And I think it really helped us shape what we don't want as much as what we should be doing. So we learned some stuff like we need to film more stuff. Like we didn't film enough. We came back when there's certain sections that don't have enough footage. Then there's some sections where we filmed too much and then I didn't edit it enough. And I should have, because I constantly, when I was editing, I was like, I need to make this short, I need to make this short, I need to make this short. And I was too precious about some clips because I had filmed it. And it was like, oh, I don't want to run out of stuff. And there's the stuff like that we learned. Like, we should have bought these little mics beforehand. So when we were in some tough situations where we couldn't really hear each other, that would have definitely helped. But I think we also learned what we don't want to do. And we don't want to be those people that, when you get to a hotel room, you walk inside, you set the camera up, and then you go back outside. And then you walk in again.
Oh, I've just arrived.
Just arrived in the hotel. Or like, it's not first thing in the morning where you wake up, set the camera up, climb back in bed and pretend like you're just waking up again. Like, we don't want to be those people. We don't want to have the TV presenter voice. One of us has the camera walking backwards down the street while the other one walks towards it going, and in this street, in the history, it's just that we don't want to be those people.
Any fun facts. We'd throw a fun fact in there that we
Oh,
already knew.
facts are facts, but we'd deliver it in how we
Yeah,
want to deliver it, wouldn't we? We won't deliver it TV presenter way.
No.
And not that we've got anything against that, it's just not us. And I think that's just not our personalities.
I mean, I watched your video about like mistakes you'd made, and not the video itself, but what you kind of like talking about reminded me of Top Gear, and like because I don't watch a lot of travel bloggers, but not in the sense of like your 40-year-old, 50-year-old men who don't know what they're doing, but like that whole idea of people think Top Gear is real
Hmm.
when it's not. It's
Yeah.
staged. It's go set up a camera, get a place, and like some of it's real and some of it's like organic, but when they film it, it's very much like these are set pieces we're going to do.
Yeah, yeah, and
Pan
like
out.
we don't want that really. We want just. I mean, it's going to make our jobs harder, and trying to
The sorting out of footage is
sorting
gonna
out
be a
footage to
nightmare.
find interesting things. But like we said in the video, like we should have planned a lot more. That's something we didn't do, and like, but not from a rigid sense, but more of a hey, we're going to this location. So what do we need? Well, we're going to need a shot of us walking into the location. We're going to make sure we need to get the sign. We're going to make sure we need to get footage of us like sitting down or sat at a table. We're going to need a pan of the area. We're going to need a pan of this other area. We're going to need a little bit of B-roll. We're going to need to shoot, say it's a restaurant. We're going to shoot the food, and each dish needs to have like a little thing. Then we could do to have an introduction to it. Then we could do to have what we thought of it kind of thing. And that's not like, to me, that's not structure. That's just a checklist. And it shouldn't, at the end, it shouldn't come out rigid, should it?
No.
Because it's still not going to be us writing a script.
Even when we did it yesterday for that actual like proper talking head one, we didn't write a script. I was like, maybe we could have written a script, and then I was like, we just still kind of let it flow rather
I
than.
mean, what did you think of the things we learned from the first vlog? Do you think that flowed well?
Yeah. So I mean, so I watched both the original videos you put out, and then I
Yeah.
watched your vlog one, and your vlog one, well, your list one was it flowed better. There
Yeah.
was a lot more editing involved in it, and you addressed the points of like the issues, which is like the first video, which is like like you said, you didn't do too much talking. There's a lot of B-roll of just like going places,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
then ended up in like music videos, which then made it really long. And
Yeah.
I mean, as I say, I'm not a travel vlog watcher, so to me, I'm like there going, okay, well, what's the point of this at all in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah.
But no, I think it did flow well. It's still, I mean, it's still semi formulaic, but like you say, not in like a staged way. It's
Yeah.
formulaic in the sense of it's reproducing a formula which works on YouTube, but with yourselves and your personality, which then makes it organic because your personalities are your personalities, which are unique.
Yeah. And that's the idea. Is just to be
Yeah.
us, and that's it. And like we said in the video, we think that actually helps people stand out. I mean, like one of the people we watch a lot of is abroad in Japan. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
I think I've seen it. It's just like one British guy, right?
It's a
Yeah.
British guy in Japan, yeah, and like he has different friends and stuff that dip in and out. But we really like his content because Chris, it's structured, it's planned. Don't get me wrong, and there's definitely some stuff in there which is staged, but not like not stage, but you know what I mean. Like we're doing this for the camera. We know we're doing this for the camera. We're not just doing the thing and filming. We know we're doing this for the camera. And obviously, he has reached a level now where he's got cameramen that follow him on his adventures, especially when he does his Journey Across Japan series. He has cameramen who are there to capture stuff, and so they're very much aware that they are being filmed, right? But saying all of that, it doesn't ever feel like the content is not Chris Broad. Chris Broad, the presenter and the guy, he always feels like it's him. It doesn't ever really feel like he's trying.
It's not like it's like some people like you're like, oh, this is your character, whereas with him, it's like it feels pretty like this is actually who he is. This is his whole personality. It's not too put on for the show sort of thing.
Yeah, it just feels like it's
Yeah.
him. And if
Authentic. That's
it
what I was
does, it
looking
feels
for.
authentic,
Yeah.
and it feels like if the camera wasn't on him and you were having a conversation with him in the restaurant or a bar, you'd get the same person. And I think that's the comparison
Yeah.
like you made. It's like when the camera goes off, is this person the same?
I think that's on some level. I think that's kind of unavoidable. Though, like I think everyone acts. It's like a telephone voice. is the way I describe it.
Yes,
It's like
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
it is your
100%.
personality, but it's like refined version of you. Like this isn't how I always am, even when I'm on camera. As Martin knows, we're both very quiet people, so talking at length is not something we really do unless we're extremely comfortable. And I think for yourselves as well, like you turn on a camera and it's you automatically go into presentation mode or work mode where your brain's like, I need to be saying something, I need to be saying explaining myself and justifying my things I'm putting into this content, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. You definitely self-censor.
Yeah.
You always do, and you always kind of like have a think about it for sure. But it's like we went to your mum's last night, didn't we?
Yes.
So I'd met Amy's mum once before, but like this was the Christmas meal at Amy's mum's last night. Her two brothers were there with their girlfriends. Her mum's boyfriend was there, and her auntie was there. And like I'd met her brothers before, and I'd met their partners before, and I'd met her mum before, and like a couple of like Jake, her youngest brother, I'm comfortable with because I've met him enough times. Like Luke's really chill, her other brother, and then
Quiet.
yeah, just this is quite quiet. But everyone else hadn't really met before, and they're quite big personalities. So I went into customer service mode.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, I don't think that was inauthentically me. I think it was just a censored version of me. I wasn't trying to be someone else. I think it was a reduction of my if me as a person is 10 out of 10, I think I reduce myself to a 6 when I go into customer service mode. And I think I'm not adding fake things on top. And like there's a so the another YouTuber that we mentioned during the vlog was a guy called Here Beer Bar. Here Be Bar. That's it. And he does Guys to New York. I don't know if you've seen his stuff. It's like with you being there, it's probably worth watching actually because it's like it shows you some interesting bits. And like his content is well researched, it's thorough, and it's useful. However, he's a former sports broadcaster, and when he's on camera, he is
Presenting.
presenter mode.
Yeah.
Like he is that, and I don't feel like if I went for a drink with him, that the thing I see on camera is anywhere close to what he's like as a real person. I think it'd be very different. I think he actually has a persona. He has a sports broadcasting voice, and he's using that. Not it's not a reduction of his core personality. It is a fake personality that he has for screen. And that's not calling him a phony. I just think that's the way he's doing it.
Yeah. Well, I think as well, like a lot of that's is you go with what makes you confident. You go with what like adds to the situation, and it's like a survival thing. Very much like, I mean, I get more gestury when I'm talking. I know I do it, and I do it more and more in person with situations of strangers. And this is strangers. This is, the
Yeah.
internet. So you're automatically like, oh, I need to do more of the thing which makes me more comfortable. So for someone who's trained in sports broadcasting, their brain's going to go, okay, cool. We're in the uncomfortable situation. I need to be more this because this is what is expected.
Oh yeah, he'll take his strategic pauses, and he will, wait for people to digest information. Whereas my defense when I talk is to talk faster.
I don't need to talk any faster
No,
ever.
you talk very fast, to be fair. Yeah, I talk faster and I mumble. But yeah,
Because if you
it's
mumble,
what
they
it
can't
is.
understand what you're saying and say that it's wrong.
Well,
Exactly.
I think it's really funny because generally speaking, I'm quite loud. Like my volume control is terrible. But the first few times like we recorded anything on camera, you're like, why do you sound so quiet? I was like, you've just started talking like you're whispering. Like this isn't your voice. And I'm like, I don't even know I'm doing it.
We were doing it the other day when we did that last video. It would be like Amy doesn't like she just talks, she enunciates, right? And she's in hospitality, so you have to communicate to people, right? And that's just a normal voice. And yeah, you put a microphone in front, she's like, "Hi, yeah, my name is Amy. And I'm
Or
here
ASMR
presenting."
mode.
It's like, yeah, it's very strange. I'm just like, just use your normal voice.
But then my work voice is like still quite loud. It's not the quiet voice. So like in theory, you'd think that my like customer service work voice would be really similar,
Yeah,
but it's not.
who knows? Who knows? But yeah, that's what we've been doing. So we've been doing YouTube stuff.
No, I mean, we've spoken on this podcast with each other like every year, and I think most years you've been like, yeah, I'm going to do a podcast at some point, or I'm going to do something at some point, and then now you're actually doing it, and that's good.
Well,
That's
not to sound wet, but
something to push.
I met someone who increased my self-confidence and agreed to do it with me, which definitely helps. And like, yeah, it's working out very, very well.
It was kind of, I mean, obviously I knew that would do that. And I think a part of me was kind of questioning why now versus like why before. Because like, I mean, I put stuff out all the time.
Yeah.
Like, because I just don't care how people react to it. I just put stuff out. And I'm sort of the
Good or
way,
bad?
you know, what was that?
Said good or bad?
Good or bad, it doesn't matter. Good or bad. I'm just putting it out, I'm making something, I'm doing something, and that satisfies me. And I know from kind of like your standpoint of the creative itch has always been there, but there's that, as you say, that anxiety of reaction to it and all those kinds of things.
Yeah, I mean, like a big part of it as well, to be fair, has been my job is creative, right? So, like, you don't have a creative job as such, whereas a lot of my job has been creative. So, when I spend all day editing photos, all day chopping video together, all day doing design stuff and going back and forth with that kind of thing, when I get home, do I want to sit in front of Illustrator or Photoshop or Premiere Pro? I don't. Like, I really don't. And my job has evolved over the last year a little bit, so I'm doing more big picture stuff now, and I've got a couple of assistants who are helping me handle a lot of that kind of mini bits of creative, that the functional stuff, like you need some new photos for the online ordering app. Oh, we need this for this. It's like we need this changing. We need this piece of uh poster that goes about allergens or something. It's just like I can hand all off to other people now. So when I actually do get to do creative stuff at work, it's the big picture stuff, which is a good thing. So he's giving me a bit more time. Like I had loads of fun editing my photos from New York, and I think they came out great, and I really enjoyed doing those because I hadn't spent 2 weeks staring at screens doing that essentially. So when I got back, I was like, no, this is really fun. I enjoyed taking the photos. I enjoyed editing when I got back. This is good.
Have you done stuff before like this, Amy? Or is this like
No.
your first?
No, I've literally for a while I've just been like, 'cause again, work's always really busy for me, and it's really like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it uses a lot of brain power. So when I come home, I get into a really bad habit of just sitting and like staring at my phone screen. So like for ages, I've been saying I just want to find some form of creative outlet like that I can do, and I feel like this is it's fun, and then it gives me an opportunity, because I didn't really know where to start. I was like, oh, I don't know whether to try this or try this or try this. So with this, I'm like planning to be like, oh, okay, I'll learn to edit some videos, and then maybe I'll learn to edit some pictures. So it's quite a nice little, oh, I can learn to do quite a lot of stuff, and it's not just me, and I don't feel too much pressure. And
Well, you wanted to Twitch stream for a while because you were interested in the idea of like, because you play a lot of indie games. You were like,
yeah,
oh, that would be something I could do. I could Twitch stream and just like that would be something. But because it's so solo,
yes,
for the
it's
most part,
terrifying.
it's terrifying to get started. And I think this is having us both do it is definitely a big positive.
Yeah, it really like makes it easier.
Yeah.
Less terrifying.
I think streaming as well is like it's you're much more exposed with streaming. Like
Yeah.
we can
Sure.
put this out and you can put videos out and you can obviously you can get comments, but you can hide behind the piece in front of you, so to speak. Whereas streaming is like one-on-one
Yeah, if
interactions.
you mess up, you've messed up, and everyone's going to remember that. You
Yeah.
can't just edit it out.
Yeah. And then as well, like they can ask questions, and that's always a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Because the internet is what the internet is.
Yeah.
As
And
it
she's
were.
been a girl, so you'll probably get a bunch of pervy comments anyway.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, I occasionally get a perfect comment, but it's never like.
Yeah. It's not like sending me pictures of your feet.
No. I mean, if someone's willing to pay for a picture of my gammy feet, they can have it. But
Yeah.
it
I
doesn't
once
feel
had a
like I'll
guy
lose too
offer
much
to
by having
buy
it.
my glasses.
Buy your glasses.
Buy my glasses. Yeah. That was the weirdest one I ever got. I was like, no, thank you. I need them to see.
I need them to actually see.
Just
Fun.
abandoned site for a few weeks. And then,
But in terms of topic for today, it was mainly just going to be to talk about like what we all think YouTube is in 2023, 2024, because I think the platform's gone through a lot of changes over the years. I mean, it's been what, 17 years since YouTube was founded, something like that.
We literally watched a video on
We
this last
watched a
night.
video on it last night, the Me at the Zoo video, which is the first YouTube video from one.
It was like 15 or 17, I
15 or
think.
17, something like that years ago. So it's been a long time, and the platform has changed over time. But we kind of like go back to that content thing, and like, where do you think YouTube as a platform is? Because it went through that phase, what, 4 or 5 years ago, when all they were doing was pushing talk show clips. Like, that front page was just your Jimmy Fallons, your James Cordens, like John Oliver. It was just that over and over and over and over again. And then they seem to have like dripped off of that now a little bit. That kind of seems to not really be the front page. Um, and it seems a little bit more tailored than it has been in a long while. There is obviously still a feel to YouTube at the moment, and I think I brought this up in like 3 videos now, but Mr. Beast is obviously the
Keep
feel.
mentioning Mr. Beast.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's the most subscribed person on YouTube apart from that Indian platform, which I can't remember, the T series, I think it is.
Something like that.
But there is a beastification of content in a way. But there's,
so popular, you become a verb.
I know,
It's bad. I mean,
but
so I watched the last one we did of this, and we also discussed content because apparently that's what we discuss every year now.
yeah,
And we
why not?
also discussed content with Ollie when
Yes.
we had Ollie on the show.
Oh.
But yeah, I think it's like it's an interesting point of view, or like different how different how point of views differ. That's the word I'm looking for on what YouTube is. So because I did a whole solo podcast about YouTube, and my frank view is that YouTube is broken in the same way that Facebook is broken and Instagram are broken as platforms.
Yeah.
But that's like my default like reaction.
I think out of those three, though, only 2 of them are fixable. Instagram is fixable.
Instagram's
but
fixable, YouTube's fixable, Facebook's not.
yeah,
It's dead.
Facebook's not. Facebook's too bloated. It's unbelievably bloated and too fractured. You can't fix Facebook now. You just have to basically burn it down and start again.
I mean, I just loaded up YouTube, and the homepage, which is given as me, is essentially a mix of some stuff I've already seen
Yeah.
and have watched recently, shorts, which they're trying to force on everybody.
Yeah.
Which is also the most frustrating thing ever because I don't see YouTube as a quick content platform.
No.
It's like a long
say
form
that.
content platform, and they just want to compete with TikTok. That's all they're actually trying to do.
Of course it is, and the same reason Reels became a thing. However, I'd be interested to see what the stats are on YouTube viewership on mobile devices versus desktop devices, because I know from putting adverts out on, say, Facebook and stuff like that, that even on Facebook, which is generally better on desktop anyway, and it's not a mobile centric app first, like Instagram was like 95% of all views on my posts are always mobile.
On YouTube?
No, on Facebook. So I don't know what the YouTube stats are, but I would be interested to see what they are, because if they are, 80-90% mobile, then shorts does make sense to have.
I can't imagine it being 80 to 90% mobile. The only time I ever use like YouTube on my phone is if like I'm trying to remember a music video or a song or something. I don't think I hardly, unless maybe a train journey or something. I never use YouTube on my phone.
For me, yeah, I like sometimes go on and view shorts.
I've never picked up my
I
phone.
sometimes watch stuff in bed, but I don't generally open YouTube to find something to watch. It's generally that I've been linked to it from somewhere else, and I always see a YouTube video. Okay, cool. Usually from Reddit, and I'll sit and watch it in bed, sideways like that. Trains, I guess, yeah, is a thing. But yeah, we watch most of our YouTube on Xbox, like, which is the app on that I actually watch it on the TV, or I'll use it at work when I'm looking for tutorials and stuff and that kind of thing, or listen to like a web podcast while I'm working, that kind of thing. But I'd be interested to see those stats. So
I mean, I think Shorts also suffers from like the thing you're saying, which was YouTube 5 years ago, which is most of the shorts which do get fed to me are interview clips with celebrities and clips from Modern Family and sitcoms and all these different things, and that's what gets fed to me. And I'm like, this
Well,
isn't my viewership on YouTube. This isn't what I spend time watching on YouTube in any way, shape, or form.
the problem
And
with
that's what you're pushing to me.
the problem with shorts at the minute is they're unfairly weighted. So it's easier to get traction on shorts than it is the core feed. So it's unfairly weighted to push those shorts. I say unfairly, but it's stacked to push those shorts. So getting viewers from shorts is easier than the core platform, and you need 3 million short views and 1,000 subscribers to get monetized, and it's 3,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers to get monetized on regular content. Getting your 3 million on shorts is actually fairly easy if you upload TV show clips or interviews with celebrities. Or I can't believe this person said this, and you go that clickbaity route. You can get to a point where you can get monetized much easier because of that weighting system of that.
Plus,
But
it's easier to smash out a load of sheer
oh, no,
number of shorts.
well, that's it as well. And no one seems to be punished for copyright on shorts either. I haven't. I don't really see a lot of it because it's like, yeah, get a TV show, get an episode of Family Guy, pull out
Make
five
it
jokes.
faster.
Pull out 5 jokes, make it slightly faster, lob some Subway Surfers underneath it. Up.
Do that. Sorry, I've just clicked.
What?
I've just clicked. Is that why they do that?
Yeah.
No, sorry.
Attention spans, isn't it?
Watching
And then
two things at once. You've
two
got
things
to
at
double
once,
pay
attention
attention.
span.
Yeah.
Copyright. No,
And then copyright as well. Yeah,
okay.
probably. And then just slap 5 of those up, and then you don't even have to make good content. Someone's already done it for you. So yeah, it's. I mean, they're not channels that'll ever last, and it is what it is. But it just kind of clogs the platform.
I can't say I've
Agree.
ever picked up YouTube and decided to watch a short ever.
It's one of those things that creates that like moss layer on top, which we talked about before. It's like the content crushed you have to get the stuff you actually want to watch.
Yeah. It's like on Instagram with like clickbait stuff and just stuff that's there for the sake of being there. And
Oh, those bloody! Your first person in your
oh,
tag list is going to be this.
remember when that was a thing?
They're
Like,
still all over mine.
I don't get them anymore. Like,
Whatever.
I've managed to get rid of them. Those posts on Instagram, which was like the third person you tag is going to be the person that you go on holiday with to this dream location, a generic picture of Dubai, and it's like I used to get so many of them. And they're just click farms, and it's just all it is. Tell you what, the place is the worst for that right now. Twitter. Like,
Oh, see, I'm not on Twitter anymore. I abandoned it.
yeah, like
rats
I
from a
only
sinking
use it.
ship.
I use it for like gaming news because a lot of it hasn't moved over to other platforms yet. Threads is getting better, and there's quite a few creators I follow on Threads that help with that. But what Threads doesn't have is a topic, so I can't search by topic and see the tweets around that topic, which is the one thing that Threads is missing. Because otherwise, I'm quite enjoying it. But
Blue Sky just became available.
So
as of today, Blue Sky became available today as a platform.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Like to anybody.
I know.
And
I
that's
got
got
the
topics.
email for the beta. I don't like it. B
don't
Sky
like it?
B. Yeah, Blue Sky. It's like a Twitter clone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's meh.
It is what it is, but it does have topics, so you can find stuff. Like,
Yeah. That's the one big thing Threads is missing. But yeah, like I still use Twitter for that element of it. Like when the Insomniac leak happened the other day, and I wanted to find out what was going on. There's a topic. I can go there. I can see the tweets around it. But Twitter is the worst place for that moss on top. Like it's horrible. Really
I've
bad.
never really been a Twitter person.
Well, at the minute, with it being so right wing as well, you get a lot of people going. They'll just say, "What's wrong with this photo?" and it'll be a photo, and they're just waiting for people in the comments to go, "There's black people." It's like,
Yeah.
what is this content? What's he like? It's just a picture of people. What's going on? Like, or it'll be, yeah, it's just thinly veiled sexism and racism. It's just not good. There's a guy on there. I think his name is like Ian Miles Chong or something, and like, no matter what I do, I cannot get him to stop coming up in my feed. And it's like, even blocked him. He just keeps coming up in my home feed and that suggested feed. And it is absolute garbage. Everything he puts out is just like this kind of like hate bait. It's awful. It's just bad times. Don't go on Twitter.
I don't go on Twitter. I have a Twitter account just because they did that stupid thing where you can only look at so many things unless you were signed in.
Yeah.
So I have an account, but I think it's just that I want to be able to look at this account, not
Fine. You have to pay
use it.
soon anyway because Elon will run out of money.
True, good point.
Treat it like Pinterest, where it's like you see it and it's like I'll view the thumbnail, but when I click on it, I don't have a Pinterest account, so I get the thumbnail, and that's about all I get.
Oh,
And
it
Twitter's now the
places that
same
still
thing.
do that is so annoying.
It is really annoying. It's obviously how they
It's
built a
the-
subscriber base, which is how they built their value to their shareholders, which is how they got their investment, which is how they grew. But yeah, could have done it in a net positive way. Like when Dropbox, if someone sent you something on Dropbox and you didn't have enough storage, if you invited someone else, they would give you more storage. That's
Actually.
that's the Dropbox method of growth, and
Sorry.
that's a net positive for everyone. But yeah, just signing up to see stuff, it's a net negative, isn't it?
Mm.
it's I don't know. I feel like it's interesting that you guys have started making stuff, and you're coming into this environment like by choice, essentially.
I think the thing is though, like we were saying, we weren't doing it to like gain followers or anything like that. I think we're just doing it for us, so we don't mind that it's a bit of a weird environment. So we don't really mind if not loads of people see.
No, and
Does that make sense?
I think because that's not our aim at
Yeah.
all. Look,
What is the goal?
if
What is the long-term goal of this?
look, it's a creative outlet, and if we get to a point where we can monetize the channel in some way, shape, or form because people are enjoying it, and we can get a couple of holidays a year out of it, in the most selfish way, that's our total goal for the channel. Like if we can get
Someone to pay us to film
something,
something.
yeah, like that would be cool. And if someone sent us some free luggage, that would be cool. And if someone gifted us a camera, that would be cool. Like obviously free stuff is cool, and like making a bit of money to go on adventures is cool. But realistically, if we don't get to that, it's just a creative outlet for us to do some stuff, isn't it? Maybe meet some cool people as well. Your microphone's gone.
You
No, you're bad. No, your microphone went for a second.
I mean, I'm still here, as far as I know.
That's all right.
Still sitting here. Yeah. No, I mean, yeah. I don't think it's a bad plan. I think it's like I think that's why this was kind of like the other part of it we were discussing it is I find it interesting reasons why people get into YouTube, right? Because like we think of like the younger generation, like we were saying at the very beginning, a lot of them get into YouTube to get famous and instantly start with an already fake personality. And that's like a very real risk for like kids. And then I think you get the other spectrum, which is people who are much older than us, they're in like the 50s and 60s, who don't know what YouTube is, but just need somewhere to post what they were doing anyway. Like, oh, here's me making, a cake. Oh, here's me doing this. And then they get weirdly famous because it's so uncut,
Awesome.
essentially.
Yeah, I mean, like we mentioned this in the thing. Like there is a backlash to that kind of TikToking of drama and that beastification of content, and like it is like there is a backlash to that at the minute, and there is channels that are doing growth. And I mentioned the one on the thing the other day. There's some dude who everyone keeps pointing out at the minute who's got exponential growth. He's grown really fast in like 2 years.
Was he the fastest person to get to 1 million subs ever?
No,
I thought it was.
no, Peter McKinnon was originally,
Right.
but then someone else is now. I can't. It's all over the place. Either way, the guy's grown. He's grown fast. He's growing really fast. His content is really just filming himself work out, giving updates about his workout, and talking in his car, and it's like that's what he's doing. And it's chill.
Old vlog format.
So
That's like vlog format from like 2006.
yeah. But like not trying.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah, like
well, that's what
old
vlogs used to
school.
be, didn't it? Like when they started, it was like not trying, going about my day. I live in California and I'm doing this, and I just happen to be here. And then it went through that process of nipple, gotta blur that out. Can't have that on YouTube. But yeah, it's like kind of it went through like the beastification, as we're using this as a verb now, of being evolved, and then you got people like Tobuscus, and then you got people like Elon Musk, 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 and then you got people like Elon who changed all of that, what vlogging was, and then there was like vlog families, and then what's the word? I want to say inspirators, but that's not the word. Influencers stuff grew out of that, and it got
Yeah,
changed, and then it's dropped back again to this kind of stuff where it's like just some guy.
yeah. I think there is different phases, isn't there? There was the kind of like day in the life, then there was like family vlog stuff, then there was over the top stuff. Then you had a kind of like, all right, Casey Neistat seems to have nailed this, and we're all going to try and emulate Casey Neistat. And then post that, it was went back to the Logan Paul kind of over the top, shouty, screamy, young kids make a mess. That's funny, isn't it? Um, you know, style. And I think what Mr. Beast did, like, because again, I say beastification like it's a really, really bad thing. Like, I think what he did was like nail a formula, and where he was riding that kind of loud, bombastic trend for a while, I think he has nailed it. And even he's toned it down in the last couple of years for sure as part of his growth. And like we watched a couple of
like
his
three last night.
three of his videos last night because we were just kind of like researching with it, and like his content is not that bad. Like
It's engaging.
it's actually is engaging, and it's built in a way that is engaging. Like I didn't vibe with his early stuff because it is shout, 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 shout. But like the one of the ones we watched last night, which is a guy in a supermarket surviving every day, he gets 10 grand or whatever kind of thing. That flowed like a decent vlog, really. It flowed like a decent video. There wasn't it didn't feel like, those I've had 5 Red Bulls and like the screen is like screaming at me kind of thing.
I think there's something which we haven't really mentioned is that like the past 10 years or how long YouTube's gone, it's gone from post anything to semi-adult to teenage, and now it's PG-13. Like you
Yeah.
can't have stuff on YouTube which is over that, which does particularly well or gets pushed. And I think, like you're saying, Mr. Beast, he landed in that section of we have to appeal to 13-year-olds, and it has to be safe for 13-year-olds.
Yes. And I think that was probably a backlash to the Pauls
Yes.
and the Dobricks and people like that whose content was being consumed by kids,
But
yet
really made
probably
for them.
wasn't really that suited for kids because they were teenagers. They were teenage boys doing what teenage boys do, which is
Fuck
sex
around.
and anarchy and fucking around. Yeah. And like, but their content was being consumed by 11-year-olds. So it wasn't quite suitable. Yeah.
They were having the personalities of teenage boys, but they were all men because they were all like 18 to 20.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah. Well, like it's been a while since any of us were 18 to 20. But
Yourself.
it's a long way back to 17, to quote Blink. But like you like when you're 18 to 20 at uni, that's what you do. You mess around and you are childish still. Like anyone that says someone's a fully formed adult by the time they're 18 is like it's not really. Not really. Like you should know right from wrong, sure, and you should have some common sense, sure. But your desire to buckle down and fly right, and get a job and pay some taxes, it's not there yet, is it? I mean, I still don't have
So
that.
when is it coming?
in my late 30s, and I still don't have that. Like, um, but yeah, like I don't know, but I don't know what's next, and I think there will be a rejection to that bombastic loud because all those kids that grew up with all that crap 5 years ago are now in their late teens, and they're still using YouTube as a form of entertainment. No one's abandoning it because it is so amorphous and evolving at all time. They just have to find what their next thing is.
I think that's kind of the interesting thing of YouTube right now is so I don't like talking to you two, right? If I look at YouTube, I don't think you're watching travel vlogs on YouTube, right? That's not my
What do
like
you?
thought
What do we?
process.
What do we look like? We watch?
True crime.
Well, yeah.
Right? Like the go-to is like you're watching true crime documentaries on YouTube maybe, or music videos from, early 2000s emo. And that's kind of the lane you're in when I think YouTube and think of you. And in the same way, like I don't really know what anyone else uses YouTube for. I know what I use it for, and I know what it's specific to. Like we like friends Brett and Charlotte who've been on the podcast, they watch meme videos on YouTube, like compilation meme videos.
Oh, we've all fallen into
Um,
that hole though. That's happened.
yeah, and it's definitely like this weird thing of like it's hard to tell what the next turn of YouTube would be because I think everyone consumes it slightly differently.
But I do think that's YouTube's big problem. YouTube doesn't. It's it's fine when you've watched for a while and you subscribe to a lot of stuff. So my homepage is fairly tailored at this point to me. However, I think when you first open YouTube, but in fact, any social media app, if you create a new account on any social media app, right, it has no idea what you want and you have to tell it, right? But it's what its default is. Like if you open a new Instagram account now, it still suggests to you Paris Hilton to follow. And it's like, you should follow Beyonce, you should follow CNN, you should follow Disney, you should follow. And it's like,
It was a nightmare.
yeah, there's just nothing. And but the things it does is not a here's a random selection of different subsections uh, of the platform. It's here's what we've decided is popular right now. And I think YouTube's phases of like its talk show phase, its vlog phase, its loud shouty phase, it's all these different phases that it's gone through. I think what it pushes is the problem, and it almost should. We should be at a point now where there's what millions, billions of hours worth of content on YouTube, right? It should be at a point now where they should have a much better categorization system. It really should have a much better categorization system. And then when you go on YouTube, you can tell it, I'm in to 2000s email. I'm in to, like, it doesn't have a proper topic tagging element to it. Like, I can't tag a video because it's tags, right? But like, I can't say this video that we're on about now is about content creation, YouTube. And it's like, there isn't a subsection for 2000s email. There isn't a subsection for I'm interested in talk shows. There isn't a subsection for I'm interested in animation. Animation that's 18 plus, adult animation. Okay. And it's like, you can't do that. So, how is it ever going to expect to feed what you want properly if it can't sort through its own crap, essentially?
I guess that's maybe the open question then for both of you is what do you want from YouTube? Like not in terms of like what you want in terms of, your channel and what you grow it into or whatever, but what do you actually want from YouTube?
I don't know. I just use it as my sort of easy entertainment. Like you can pick something that you like, but you don't have to not like when you put TV on, you're not stuck watching whatever's on TV. Like you can be like, oh, I feel like watching this, and then you can watch it. So that's the only really reason I use it.
I think I would like a really hypocritical thing. I want it to be both more curated and less curated at the same time. So I want more curation in the sense that I can tell it that it needs to stop showing me Top Gear on my front page, right? Not obviously I blocked and got rid of the Top Gear stuff because I just I'm not interested in cars. I don't care. But the amount of clips that still come up on my front page because I'm a white man in England and is middle aged. So it's like I just get that all the time. Like I want to be able to curate more and I want to be able to delve through topics. Again, I want to be able to find a trending tab of topics and like delve through topics. Like when a new video game comes out and I want to see what's going on with, say, Starfield, right? Starfield comes out and I want to look at videos related to Starfield. Like I can put Starfield in the search bar, but the search is horrible. I don't know what's fueling that search. But at the same time, I think one of the things we are missing now is, and I'm going to say it's less curation, but it's not less curation. It's less curated on my end, but more curated on another end, where when you used to turn TV on, you're watching what's on TV. And if you're flicking through channels, you might find something you wouldn't have thought about watching. And I find that element missing from a lot of digital streaming media. And I remember when so like first streaming video stuff like came prominent, right? And there was these 24-hour TV channels on internet, dodgy internet sites, right? Dodgy streaming sites where you could go watch Simpsons 24
Oh,
hours.
I missed that website. That's
Yeah,
a great
or like
website.
Family Guy 24 hours. Because I don't want to have, if I want to watch a bit of Simpsons, I don't want to have to go into the Disney Plus app. I don't have to pick one of 35 seasons and then pick an episode. I just want random. Play a random episode, right? And if I just put on the Simpsons 24-hour channel and that stream, that'd be good. And again, to go back to curation, if you had a topic that was, say, 2000s emo, and you clicked on 2000s emo, and it was a mix of music videos and people talking about it, and that was a curated playlist by YouTube of a topic to make sure that no crap ends up in there for sure, that becomes an uncurated way for me to watch, but you get what I mean.
Like how Spotify has so-and-so radio. So say you've got a band that you like, and then you click on it, and it's like, here are all these songs related to this band. So like they're really good. If I click on one of those, 9 times out of 10, I've enjoyed every song on that list because it's so similar.
Yeah, and I think Spotify does curate those.
That's what I mean. So you had like
radios.
a video YouTube version of that.
But it's also an uncurated way to listen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want it to stop showing me
discovery.
Hmm?
I say it's spontaneous discovery, but it's not.
I think it needs more of that, and because I think as well, like when you click on videos and you're watching it, the sidebar is generally just more videos from that channel. Generally, there's very little.
Weird. But it's weird because you can, if you use YouTube Music, you can choose a mix, and it will do the thing where it's like shows you similar things. Like if you chose a Blink-182 video and you like mix Blink-182, it'll show you other videos from that era and be like, yeah, these are the things you enjoy.
But it also then puts the same song on 3 times. I've noticed that when you put a playlist on the other day.
Yeah, sometimes you get like, oh, here's this version, here's a live version, here's a lyric video, and you're like, oh, great.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think that like a mix of topic would be good. Like, but they would have to be curated. They'd have to have human interaction with them, and then they'll probably get accused of playing favorites. But then they already do that anyway, so I don't know.
I just want it to stop showing us videos we've already watched in the suggested section.
Yeah.
That's
That'd be nice.
My one thing.
I want topics. I want greater depth. Genres work, right? Genres work. That's it. It like it works in film. It works in music. You know, it works in literature. Make it work in digital streaming video.
Yeah, I think you're both right. I think it's definitely a level of. I mean, my number one gripe with YouTube is like I have two, which is one that the homepage isn't the things I'm actually subscribed to. It's a bunch of stuff which I don't care about, and two that not all people get notified when your video goes live who's actually subscribed to you, which is the same issue of every other algorithm platform.
Yeah,
just
yeah,
not
of course,
feeding the correct one, and obviously adverts, which are like 2 minutes long between videos right now. But that's the whole thing. But yeah, no, I think genre and actual curation of what's there and responding to what you enjoy is a big thing. Like you mentioned tags. It literally tells you when you're adding tags that these have no effect.
Yeah.
It's like you're tagging it, but these have no effect. They're basically just to catch misworded things now, where you can put in word variations, and that seems ridiculous when you have things which, like you say, on other platforms, which will do this job for you. Spotify do it, Amazon Music does it. Reddit is probably the example I'd use best, which does it best. Like it shows you
Reddit,
stuff you want, and then it'll throw in a random category every so often. You'll be like, never knew I liked this, but now I'm into this.
Reddit is pretty good. Yes, it is a lot of the way there, except Reddit still has this thing that it knows that I'm a white male in my middle age, and it still keeps showing me football content. And it's
You're a
like
white male in England, man. You have to like football.
I have to like football and cars.
Like I
football and
have
cars.
to see Call of Duty adverts. I don't care about Call of Duty. Like,
yeah, you do. You love Warzone.
They're gonna like bring me like all the Call of Duty stuff and the football stuff. I don't care about any of that.
Yeah, like I think there's just things need to get better like that across the internet anyway, don't they? So in general, but you know, one of my theories about, you saying it doesn't notify all your subscribers. One of my theories about that is, so when the algorithm shows people content, it shows it to the people it thinks are going to be most interested, right? And then if they don't interact with it, it thinks it's bad content. So then does it push it out to more people? And I think it doesn't show all your subscribers, because say you've got 1,000 subscribers, 200 of them are dead. They're dead subscribers, right? So they're old. Now, if it did show your content to everyone, there's a higher chance people would unsubscribe. So not only would it make YouTubers or content creators more sad because they're going to get more things, it also decreases everyone's numbers, so it makes the platform look less populated.
Yeah, that does make sense.
Else.
That's my conspiracy. That's my conspiracy theory.
YouTube
Conspiracy.
conspiracy.
It could quite work. I think we fixed YouTube today.
I think we fixed YouTube.
We'll send this to the big bosses. And
Right.
we'll,
That's what you gotta
get them
do.
to-
Yeah,
Sort it.
Welcome to the
all
platform.
good. We've got to shoot in a second because Amy's got to be back at work soon. So
You do. I
So-
have 2 questions for you
go.
to end this out. One of them's new, so brace yourself.
Ooh.
Uh,
I don't like being on the spot.
you'll be fine.
I'm panicking.
So the new question, which I've started asking people, is that when you reflect on like what you're doing and why you're here and all those kinds of things and who you are, is this what you saw yourself doing when you were a kid?
No,
Like, is this what you wanted? What did you want then versus now? Is this?
no idea.
I have no idea what I wanted to do when I was a kid.
That's the problem. That's why I fell into hospitality so easily, because it was fun. Hospitality is fun to work in when you're young, because you're talking to pretty girls and you're around drinks and you're around loud music and you're having fun and you're staying out late, and it's like I fell into that industry and stayed within that industry because I didn't know what else I wanted to do, really.
I want to say that I knew what I wanted to do when I was a kid, but I do think if you ask like 13, 14-year-old me to look at this now, they'd be pretty happy. Like maybe not as a kid. Like kid, they'd be like, "Why are you just working in a restaurant?" But then I think, like, and they didn't really care about anything else. But I feel like if you ask like 13, 14-year-old me and be like, "Oh, look what you're doing now," you'd be like, "Oh no, your life's pretty cool," you know.
Yeah, I don't think 16-year-old me would be annoyed about what I'm doing now. I don't think they would be. I think they'd be like, "Oh no, your life's pretty chill." Because I would purposely rejected standard societal pressures and do things my own way. And I think a lot of my friends do. And I think a lot of people in our generation and the people I hang out with do. Like, none of us have a traditional life. None of my friend group does at all. But I didn't know what I wanted to do. I had no clue. I didn't understand society as growing up. I didn't get it. So I was very confused about the world in general. And I still am for the most part. Well, no, I'm not. I understand it now, but I'm confused why people participate. That's now my confusion. Why do you put up with these crappy work conditions? Why do you put up with low wages? Why do you put up with get price gouging? Why do you put up with a Tory government? All this kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't see it, but at the same time, I'm not mad about it.
I think it's a
That
pretty
sounds
fair way
amazing.
of putting it. Yeah.
I mean, it's just for context, I think 16-year-old you would be unimpressed with anything you do, Martin, because he was unimpressed with
16-year-old me was unimpressed with anything.
So you could show him the moon, you'd be like, nah, not into that.
No, it's not for me.
Picture it so well.
If it wasn't Tony Hawk's and eating a pizza, I wasn't bothered.
I don't think you were that impressed with that, to be honest. I think
Meh,
it's just a little like,
it'll do.
cool. And then my final question, which Martin already knows, so maybe more for you, Amy. Who should I talk to next
Ooh.
on this show?
Oh, I don't know.
Last
That's a lot of
time
pressure.
I suggested my 2 suggestions he hasn't managed to get. So I said,
But I did get rejections from them. Like,
You did.
Well, at least you got something.
Did you?
Where did those balloons
Did you
come
see
from?
balloons? What's that?
Yeah, I don't know where the balloons came from
What is
at all.
Okay.
Nowhere near the computer, so that's weird.
Either way, celebration, New Year.
Well, I suggested Danhausen. But that's just before he got signed to AEW. Then he obviously got signed to AEW, so that was a problem. And then the other person was Alana Pierce, because I just find it infinitely interesting.
Who's
But
that?
the Australian blonde
Oh, yeah, of course.
gaming, yep. Not to take down her achievements.
I recognise
Video
the
game
vibe.
writer,
I mean,
podcaster,
Yeah.
journalist, not
But
Australian,
Australian blonde gaming. Where you've gone
Sorry,
for this.
Alana. That's the first place I went to. So yeah, I don't know who did we watch that's recent, that's small-ish. That
I think small, but you could give me one small and one big, and I can see if I can actually get either of them this
I don't think we watch.
big
Yeah.
LGR.
Yes, that is a 10 out of 10 suggestion.
LGR.
LGR.
Lazy
Can you
gaming
send me one?
reviews.
Yeah, lazy game reviews. But this guy,
I reckon he'd do it.
I
He's
think probably
really
would.
sweet.
right? He's some bloke, and I think he's from like North Carolina or something. Like I don't know, can't remember where he's from. But he does lazy gaming reviews, but he also is the man is obsessed with retro tech, right? And he gets so excited about an old Sound Blaster audio card for a PC that he has. He's got like full Windows 95 setups with in his like
I've got several full ones.
several. He does a really great impression of Duke Nukem, and that's
I mean, that's a
key.
reason. That's a reason.
He
Just
loves
right
Duke Nukem.
And he does some wood grain.
And some wood grain, yeah. He's just a big old nerd who loves tech. And like, you know, he goes on these things where people send him stuff in the mail that they've found, like old tech and stuff, and he'll get like a word processor that he'd never heard of, like a CD-ROM of a word processing software he'd never heard of. And he's like, amazing. Oh my God, look at the man. And he gets so excited about it.
I reckon he'd do it, you know.
Yeah, I think he probably would.
If he had time, he's just a chill guy.
there. The email I will. I'll figure that one out. And anyone small
Small.
or medium?
Oh no.
Just
Oh,
small
my
in
phone's over
stature.
there.
I'm gonna say your phone is the
my
camera.
my phone is the camera
There's
right
no
now.
point using mine because my YouTube is like because I ended up watching it with like you. None of my YouTube is
Yeah.
mine. Mine's just still like makeup influencers because I've not unfollowed anyone since 2012.
I mean, I could ask makeup influencers.
I'll tell you what
no
then.
problem.
Right. So there's the Abroad in Japan group. Like obviously Chris is very busy. Connor is very busy.
Natsuki.
Natsuki doesn't really do it though. I was gonna say Natsuki would be great, but he doesn't really
He's also very Japanese.
is quite Japanese, yes. But there's a guy in there called Premier 2, and he's a Canadian dude. Pete, I think his name
I think
is.
his name's Pete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's part of that group, and he's in it. He does live streams within Japan. He's a Canadian dude that lives in Japan. He does live streams there. His YouTube channel's not huge. His self YouTube channel's not huge. But he seems like a really chill, interesting dude.
He was quite good on Chris's podcast.
He was on the last,
as well,
yeah, he was on the last Abroad in Japan podcast, just chilling. But he's like, yeah, just an interesting dude, and like, I think he just seems really nice. So yeah, if you're gonna get someone from that group of people, I think Pete would be the one to talk to.
Yeah,
If not,
sounds good.
get Natsuki because Natsuki's great.
I think he'd be funny.
Right. And this is how we discover things because YouTube doesn't do a good job. So you know,
Exactly.
we suggest people to come in. All right then. Well, yeah, I think we can probably call it around there. It's been lovely as always.
As always.
Yeah, we'll do this again.
So we
in
will
another
see
year.
you.
Sorry, my brain stopped working then.
Well,
yes, it's been nice.
We will speak to you in what day is it today? It's 22nd today.
2 days. 23rd today.
23rd. I'll see you. I'll speak to you in 2 days.
You'll speak to me in 2 days. I'll speak to these guys in a couple of weeks, and we'll go from there. But thank you very much.
We'll speak to you guys in a year.
Yeah, we'll speak to me in a year.
Yeah, we'll speak to these guys in a year.
Yeah.
But
These guys,
we'll speak
me
to you
specifically.
in 2 days.
No.
Yeah.
We'll talk to these guys later.
Okay.